Hey, welcome to His and Hers Gen X podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Christina, and with me is.
Chad,
What movie did we do this week, Chad?
why are you asking me? It was your pick. It was Poltergeist, which I had never seen
Right.
until now, which is kind of the point of the show. It was supposed to be, I mean, well, it doesn't necessarily have to be
Right, because
things
with
that we never saw, but it was kind of like,
like Ghostbusters, I had seen it
yeah,
before.
or something like something we haven't seen in a long time.
But you've never seen Poltergeist, which the whole time I was watching it, I'm like, there has to be stuff in here that you've heard.
Yeah, and that was in my notes. Is I feel like I kind of familiar with the plot of the movie because Simpsons, Family Guy, and South Park have all referenced it. It's Robot Chicken. All those spoof shows
Yeah,
have parodied it at some point.
right.
Not to mention tons of you know not another scary movie or something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like me with Star Wars. It's like I knew of stuff and I'd
Yeah,
heard stuff, but I just didn't know the whole
yeah.
plot.
It's like
But
as you're watching it, you're just like, oh yeah, that's I saw that on South Park or
yeah.
Family Guy or whatever.
So I said, Poltergeist, you think your house is safe? So did the Freelings until their house came to life.
Well, it was going all the way back to our first episode, the pilot episode. You said this was like the first scary movie you saw as a kid.
Yeah, it must have had just come out. I remember seeing it as a small child. And I
Mhm.
think it was watching it again. I mean, it's a PG movie.
I always thought it was
Um,
R. It's like I'm like, how can you make it a horror movie that's PG?
right. But then watching it as an adult, I thought, this is more of like a horror fairy tale. So I think it was an appropriate first movie, certainly better than saying something like, Friday
Mm.
the 13th as my first movie. Because it's a horror movie, but
Yeah,
some stuff disturbed me as a small child, but now it's pretty tame.
I think
So
it was made before they had PG-13 because we were watching it and I was just like, man, how do they get a PG rating on this? It was like if it came out today, it would definitely be more of like a PG-13, even though like there's really only a handful of swear words in it, and
yeah,
there isn't like any gore or nudity, but it's just like the intensity of it. You know,
yeah.
Logan Cat.
There's some gore
Listening.
in it, and there's the scene where they kind of introduce the family. They're just a normal family that lives in a
Yeah,
normal suburban neighborhood. Remember, the parents were in bed and they were rolling joints,
yeah.
so it,
That's
it would be marked PG-13 for drug use.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, that really didn't add anything to the plot
No.
because like in movies, whenever you see parents who are doing drugs,
Yeah.
like that's just like the movie's way of telling you that they're shitty parents.
Right. But they
But
weren't.
they didn't come across as like negligent, like hippie parents or something like that. They like at the beginning when like they're Craig T. Nelson and Joe Beth Williams are like in bed together.
Yeah.
They do kind of come across as like like they're amorous or horny.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's I mean it's good for them as a couple that even though they have like three kids, like they're still
They have like a
very
16 year
much in
old,
yeah they're
so
very
it's
much
still
in love
going
with it.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Um,
seemed fun. And I don't know if it was like maybe to make them unreliable narrators, like maybe they're high, but it didn't
yeah.
really, it was just a small blip that
It
would
was
have caused it to get a PG
yeah.
13.
It's funny, like going back to like what we said in Ghostbusters, like how that had a lot of sexual innuendo. It's like
Yeah,
it's an odd choice.
yeah,
There was
it
like
does.
so many odd choices for PG movies back in '70s and '80s.
Yeah. And I would count this as a disturbing children's movie just because I saw it when I was a small child. But again, it's like a
Yeah.
horror fairy tale.
Well, I wouldn't consider this a children's movie, other
No, but
than
it's a good entry level horror movie, I guess.
yeah. I imagine I don't know. It's like any kid like under 10, I think would be definitely yeah probably disturbed or scared by this movie. Like what year did this come out? 80?
1982. Every movie I've chosen, and I'm not doing this on purpose. Is it every movie I've chosen has been from 1982,
All right.
right?
Well, I'm putting my foot down. Next week you have to pick, or next time you
I'm
have to
not even
pick.
doing it on purpose.
You have to
It's
pick a
just,
movie from any other year except
I
1982.
guess 1982 is about the time I was a small kid, so those movies just came out on beta about that time. Um, but yeah, they're a normal family, and then the little girl Carol Ann starts talking to the TV, and you don't remember. I remember when I was a kid. At like 2 a.m., the TV would play the national anthem, and it would just go to a dead signal. There would be nothing after that until the morning news came on.
I remember watching TV till like late, like not like as a little kid, but like probably like as a teenager. And it would just like, if there was no other TV to show, it would just be like color bars,
That too, yeah.
But I never remember seeing a national anthem as they were signing off for the day,
I vaguely remember it. I don't know why I was awake. Maybe it was probably in a hotel room with my family, and they always slept with the TV on. That's probably when it happened. Because when it started, you were like, "Why are they playing the national anthem?"
I know that was a very bizarre way to open the movie. Because it's like when you hear the national anthem opening the movie, you're thinking it's gonna be like a war movie or something.
Yeah, but it's because the kid can only communicate with the poltergeists when the signal goes to, I don't even know what you call it when it goes off completely.
Oh, just static,
Yeah, static. Then she can communicate with them.
You're more of a horror movie buff than I am, but there's definitely, that's been a running theme through horror movies for like the last few decades, is that like ghosts communicate to living through electronics,
There was a movie with Michael Keaton where he communicated with his dead wife.
Frequency, was that it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I know what you're talking about.
But I know other movies have, and like just other ghost documentaries and ghost hunter type shows and things like that. They always like, especially anything with static TV, static radio.
Yeah, I used to hear that. You could turn your, back in the day, if you were driving, turn your radio to static radio. You could hear like the dead communicate and stuff like that.
Well, maybe you could.
Well, it never happened to me. I just heard it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she talks to the TV. The chairs start stacking themselves. It's kind of a slow build.
Yeah.
Initially, it takes a while to establish what's happening.
That was, as is, it seemed to be a running theme with your picks, is I think they've been over long. Because this one was almost 2 hours. Return to Oz was almost 2 hours.
It was 2 hours.
Yeah, I think this could have been closer to like 90 minutes.
No, but, I think everything, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it took a while for, well, I mean, it's nice that like, because like at first, like when the paranormal stuff is happening, they think it's like fun, because like
she's giddy over it. The mom is.
The wife is like, if I sit here, I'm just gonna move on, like, and she slides on the floor, and like it's kind of funny. And I actually wrote that in my notes. I was just like, is this a comedy or a horror?
Yeah. So it's a slow build. The family. But then it seems really like benign. I guess the ghosts seem friendly, and then shit turns bad really quick. With that lightning storm, which drove me crazy. There's that lightning storm where the kids were scared, and Craig T. Nelson comes in and he talks to them. He's like, "Don't worry," and he never closes the curtains the entire time. And I'm like, that would have resolved all the issues. Close the curtain.
Especially they have this like super scary looking tree out the window, and like that was in many Simpsons like Treehouse of Horror.
Is that where that comes from? Yeah.
I was like, like, and also he has like the clown in the chair staring at him. I'm just like, it makes absolutely like he throws his shirt or whatever over the clown.
Yeah.
I'm just like, why don't you just put it in the closet, or like, why do you even have that? Like, it's like facing him,
It's like they're the entire time always staring at him. I don't know. I don't know why, but that bugged me. I mean, it's a movie.
I know, and that was before Stephen King's It, which like really solidified like clowns as like horror movie villains.
That's a fun fact. They were considering Stephen King as a screenwriter from this movie, but they thought it would be too dark, so they didn't.
And that's since you know more about this than I do, it's like this was actually, I think it said story by Steven Spielberg, but somebody else wrote the actual screenplay, and he didn't direct it, but he was like one of the executive producers.
So somebody named Hooper directed it, and some people, there's like a conspiracy theory that Spielberg directed it under that name because it was so close to the release of E.T., but I don't know.
Yeah, this didn't seem like a Spielberg movie to me.
Really? I thought it did.
No, it was...
The music and the whimsy of it?
It was kind of like somebody emulating Spielberg, but like Spielberg never really gets into like that, like straight up like horror type stuff. Like if it was Spielberg, like it would have been like the ghosts were friendly, like you were saying,
Yeah, like the aliens are friendly.
Yeah.
But just the neighborhood and the way kids were, it reminded me of the neighborhood from E.T. I looked it up. It's not the same neighborhood, but it's close. Yeah. Kids playing outside. The nostalgia kind of Stranger Things vibe of it reminded me of Spielberg.
Yeah, that's definitely like, again, that's something else I noticed in this whole movie, like especially the house. I was like, this looks like, I think I've seen this in Stranger Things, and like when we were watching it, like I think I wrote like the set decorator should have got an Oscar because like you feel like you're in 19 like the
I
TV, the decor,
know.
all the furniture, like
The kitchen,
everything.
wallpaper.
Yeah,
It was a cool house for that time too. The way the staircase kind of came out and the plants in the house. I'm
yeah.
sure back then it was amazing.
Everything like as far as like the from the cars to the park,
Mm-hmm.
everything it definitely is like the
It takes you
embodiment
back.
of 1982 and like that was and it wasn't like they were going for a retro nostalgia vibe. They were going for like absolutely modern at the time, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's nostalgic now, and now it hits like it's one of those that hits like really hard and makes me want to buy an 80s house. I was saying and decorate it that
Yeah.
style just because I miss it so much.
And it's kind of funny because like they have like this huge TV like with the wood console thing. It probably weighed like as much
Yeah.
as a fridge.
And it was on the floor.
Yeah, it was on the floor because
Ours
like
was on the floor.
it's too big to put on a entertainment center or dresser or something like that.
And I'd forgotten about that. And like as kids, we played Nintendo. We always sat on the
Yeah, we
floor.
did too. Yeah, even though
Yeah.
our TV, like we never had a TV. Well, no, we did have a TV on
We
the
had a
floor.
cabinet TV.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
if you go on actually, it's funny if you go on Facebook, people will sell those super old timey TVs, but they want like a lot of money for
Did
them.
they work?
Yeah,
They
but they
must have
want
had
like
to
two,
replace.
$300 for them. I'm just like,
That's more than a modern TV.
yeah, but it's like, yeah, exactly. Like if anybody's buying this, like they're just buying it for to just maybe like to decorate a furnished basement or something, which you don't really have in Florida. Nobody really has basements here.
Right, like a rompus room or a
Yeah,
den. But it probably wouldn't work. You'd have to replace all the tubes. But I don't know, it goes from like kind of slow to all of a sudden the tree is eating the kid.
yeah, which is kind of
It's
creepy.
gross. I remember
Yeah,
like he's up to his shoulders, like, and the thing's going and just swallowing him.
yeah,
That bugged me as a kid. I thought it was gross. And that's just a distraction to suck the little girl into the vortex in the closet
yeah,
because the parents aren't up there. Um, you want some fun trivia?
sure,
All right. So they bring in these paranormal investigators,
yeah,
and they don't really know how to help them initially. But they bring in that little woman, Tangina,
hmm
who it turns out was a real life psychic and medium.
yeah. I definitely seen that character spoofed on like South Park and
Oh, she's been spoofed before.
probably
Robot
Sims.
Chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of those.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't know if she's technically a midget or whatever, but she has like that super high pitched. She has a super high pitched voice, and she's really short. And then she also has like a super thick, like Georgia Southern accent or something
I
like that.
love her accent. Yeah, it's so thick. She had to have been from like the deep south.
Hmm.
And the way she spoke, it was, I guess, kind of soothing, which is what I guess the
Mm.
mom kind of needed. I mean, creepy, but soothing.
Yeah,
And she confirms it's not a ghost infestation, it's poltergeist, which attach to people rather than places.
hmm
So they're more sinister, I guess. They're attracted to Carol Ann's light because she's a child.
mm.
So,
I thought this movie. I think they were going for like a PG equivalent of like The Exorcist.
what?
Yeah, because like The Exorcist is R, and it's also about a little girl who gets like, possessed by a demon or whatever. And this is about a little girl that gets possessed, or well, maybe not possessed, but
Stole.
you know,
Mm,
somehow befriends or just the ghosts or whatever. Um, like they kidnap her at one point or whatever.
yeah.
I thought that always cracked me up is that they like at the end, or they use like a rope to like jump into the ghost world, which again that totally reminded me of Stranger Things of like the upside down where they actually will go into the other world, but they still have the tether, you
Yeah.
know.
It comes out,
I
it
was
goes
just
through the closet and comes through the ceiling.
that always cracks me up about horror movies and everything is like there's always that one thing in the real world that they get defeated by, like in Return to Oz, like the
Yeah.
wizard and the witch, they get defeated by like an 8-year-old girl, and in this movie the ghosts get defeated by a rope.
Yeah. They just have to go and get her out. But yeah, it kind of reminds me of The Exorcist too, because I don't know, I kind of get it now as an adult. I didn't get it
Mm.
as a kid, but there's like this profound sense of helplessness from the mother because it's and the father too, because it's
Yeah,
like their kid is in the house. They can talk to her, they can hear her, can't see her, can't get her out of wherever she is. And nobody can really help them. Like, how do you say to your friends, our child's stuck in the ceiling?
I know. You know what cracked me up about this is like, so like the tree eats the kid, and like all crazy stuff is happening. Like, there's 100% for sure, like ghost thing going on here,
Yeah,
and they stay in the house, and it's just kind of like, why wouldn't they just leave or get a hotel room? But
I
other than,
know.
they do kind of address that, because the mother was like, well, we're not leaving until we get our daughter back.
Yeah.
Okay, I can kind of understand, but still.
The problem is they were holding their other two kids captive, and that oldest daughter was becoming hysterical. They
I
had to
know.
send her away because she was screeching and I can't do it anymore. And
Yeah.
so I thought that was kind of lame, but it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they bring in Tangina. The souls are trapped. They use a rope and harness to get her out, and it happens pretty quick. And did you think when they got Carol Ann out, that was the end of the movie?
Yeah, at first I did.
Because she says, "This house is clean."
I know, and I was like, okay. And then like it keeps going, and I'm just kind of like, man, this is a really long, drawn out ending. And then I realized, oh, it's the classic horror movie fake ending.
And rewatching
Yeah.
it again, I was like, I don't think the movie ends here, because I remember thinking that too. Like, this must be the end.
Yeah.
But it keeps going because the clown has not come out yet, so it
Yeah.
has to keep going.
It's like every horror movie, like even like in Alien, where they think like they blow up the ship, and then Sigourney Weaver escapes in the escape pod, and you think like that's the end of the movie, and then the alien was in the escape pod with her, you know?
Yeah.
So classic horror movie trope.
Yeah. So it keeps going. They're moving out of the house. Steve goes to work. He says he'll be home early. He lied. And let the kids conk out if he doesn't come home early. So she puts the kids to bed. She goes to dye her hair, and then shit hits the fan again. Apparently, the house was not clean.
Yeah.
And
I said if I was those guys, I would want a refund from that medium lady.
right. How much did they pay her? Was it pro bono?
Yeah.
She comes back in the second one. They hire her again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like 2 or 3 of these, right?
There was 3.
Were they all PG?
I don't. The third one might have been PG-13. They got consecutively worse as time went on. The third one was trash, absolute trash. But she comes back again. But yeah, they're in the room, and then the clown, who was, kind of just creepy before.
Yeah.
God, I hate this scene. It's one of the reasons I hate clowns, because he's under the bed. Of course, he pulls the kid under.
I know that's every kid's are scared of that. Check, make sure there's no monsters under the bed.
I think that contributed.
You read Calvin and Hobbes. He would always say to his parents, check underneath the bed or in the closet for monsters.
And the mom would be like, okay.
Like that was that Pixar movie, Monsters Inc.
Yeah,
there actually are monsters in the closet, but they're friendly.
Yeah, they live behind the closet. But he's able to beat the clown to a pulp.
Yeah.
It's easy to defeat. It's a toy.
Yeah.
So at least he was able to resolve that.
I wrote down, I said, did you ever notice how whenever like there's ghosts or whatever, it doesn't matter, like even if it's like, lighthearted stuff like Ghostbusters or this, or like any like intense R-rated horror movie, any ghost, goblin, whatever, it's always something like mucus based.
Ectoplasm.
Yeah. To me, it's like that's like a metaphor for like mouth. It's almost like mucus, like they're trying to digest you, or like they're trying to eat you.
Yeah.
It's like either mouth or like genitals, like.
Ew, gross.
I know. It's like.
For me, I don't know. They were covered in ectoplasm when she got the little girl out. For me, it was like kind of like a metaphor for giving birth to her a second time, because she was slimy and.
I haven't really seen too many like. I feel like horror movies really didn't take off until the 80s. Like these kind of horror movies, like. You know more about horror movies than I do. So like like the whole like crazy, paranormal slasher genre, like the like Freddy, Jason, how all those types of the the undefeatable monsters.
Yeah.
Like those are more like 80s and on, but like so like in the 70s and earlier, it was either like cliche monsters like Dracula and Frankenstein, the Wolfman, or like I don't know, like
70s had a lot of the kind of zombie movies. So Return of the Dead, I think that's what it was called.
Oh,
Night of the Living Dead.
There's a whole bunch of them, yeah.
Yeah, and then it had like really B schlock, like B movies. They were big into like big scorpion, giant bees, killer bees.
Yeah, like even Exorcist had like as far as like there wasn't like monsters in that, but it was like at one point like she does like the crab crawl and like there's a lot of like puking in that movie.
Yeah, The Omen and The Exorcist are based on books, and I think that's when they started to take it a little bit more seriously. There was also Return of the Body Snatchers, which is actually, have you seen that one? That's a decent movie. I was surprised by that.
I saw the original like 1950s or 60s Body Snatcher.
Yeah, there's like a 70s version with Donald Sutherland.
Oh yeah, we'll have to check that out.
So it's like that, that was like the golden age of cinema, they call it.
I never saw The Omen either.
Oh.
Is that, yeah, we could maybe check that out too.
Yeah, it holds out in some ways, in other ways it's kind of cheesy, but where were we?
I know we don't like review. We don't really review movies in order,
I'm trying to.
I mean, we should start out the show with this as kind of like, is that we're not going like this isn't like the whole point of our show is not really meant to like be a movie review for somebody who never saw it. Like we're not Siskel and Ebert, where they give you like a 5-minute overview of the movie and like why you would or wouldn't want to watch it, or because like imagine like. I can't even imagine like when Siskel and Ebert like did their show and they probably bantered on about it like a movie for like 10 20 minutes and then they had to cut that down to like 2-3 minute sound bites.
I'm sure because they probably talked forever.
Like the whole point of our like we're a podcast, so like we're just gonna ramble in like no specific order.
Yeah.
So
we jump around a little bit. It's because I forgot to address. What did you think of the effects?
They were pretty cool. In fact, did you like the guys who did the special effects in this movie? Like are the same guys who did the Ghostbusters effects.
Wow,
it's the same team. So there was like the
apparitions
similarity
were
there.
cool.
Yeah, those parts were cool.
Yeah.
They kind of like at the end, like with all the skeletons popping up and all that stuff. To me, that kind of like jumped the shark a little. So like they like really subtly give away the plot is like that they were saying like the whole subdivision that they live in was a cemetery and they just moved the cemetery, but like they only moved the headstones, they didn't move the bodies. So and it's funny because like at one point like the real estate guy, he says oh, don't worry, it's not like an ancient Indian burial ground, which is like that's like such a cliche.
Yeah. And there's that scene where the house is falling apart and he says to his boss, you moved the cemetery but you left the bodies, didn't you? Why and it's really dramatic.
I think this would have worked better like if that was like the plot device, then that would have worked better as a zombie movie than as a ghost movie.
Why? I mean, it's like I don't think it's ever really been done, right? It's kind of a unique thing. Well, it's kind of like a twist in the movie because, I mean, when you first see it and you see the cemetery there, then it clicks and you're like, oh, shit, that's why they're haunted. It's probably built on an old cemetery.
I mean, unless it was like the first movie to do that, but like anything, like that's like just like the horror movie cliche trope now.
Yeah, now.
For the last few decades is like,
Yeah, but back then I think that was pretty original,
if
honestly.
And even like, I was going to say like Pet Sematary, but...
Yeah, I was thinking along the same thing. It's got the same idea, but this was like the height of like building suburbia too in the early 80s. So it's kind of like anti-capitalist, I guess.
I wouldn't say that.
And the closet vortex opens. The only effect that creeped me out when I was a real small kid was when he goes in the mirror and his face is peeling.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, he's like, let me peel my face off.
Yeah, that was...
And it looks so ridiculous.
I feel like that was to just kind of show off their effects at the time.
Yeah, so as a kid, it really bothered me. But now I look at it, I'm like, wow, that's really fake looking.
And again, watching it now, it's just kind of like, man, how do they get a PG rating with this? Because, like, I guess you could call that gory.
And the maggots popping out of the steak, that used to disgust me too. Yeah. Like, this is stuff that would probably bother audiences in the early 80s that now it's kind of...
I know, they should have just went hard in the paint. They should have just went, for a full-on R on this, like... But again, like this was before PG-13, so they could get away with a lot more
Yeah.
stuff.
I think Spielberg was tied to it so heavily that that's maybe just why they didn't do
Hmm.
the R rating. They wanted families to go in and see it.
I don't know.
Um,
Watching it now, because I had never seen this before, I wouldn't say like it was scary. It was
no.
certainly interesting to watch. Um, and like I kind of felt like it's they're really, really, really hammering home that like this is like a ghost movie. Like it's just kind of like, especially like the whole third act of just like everything, like the shit hits the fan, like it's just nonstop like ghosts. But it's just kind of like, and then like the whole when the skeletons are popping out of the ground, the coffins are popping out of the ground.
Hmm.
I'm kind of like this isn't really scary. It's I guess you could say like yeah, like maybe disturbing or just creepy. You know.
Yeah, and the music that's so lighthearted alongside of it, I think is what kind of moves it out of the horror and more into a fantasy
Yeah,
movie.
it's not scary in the way like a Freddy or a Jason is, like with a lot of like the jump scares, like where it's really quiet and all of a
No.
sudden,
Yeah,
something jumps out.
if you're an adult and this movie scares you, then I don't even know what to tell you. Stranger Things would probably scare you,
Yeah, it's like
honestly.
yeah, it's like creepy, like the whole clown thing, and like the
Hmm.
tree, I could see that.
Yeah, but even as a kid, it's like it bothered me, but it never gave me nightmares.
I think I never saw this as a kid. If I did, I probably wouldn't have understood it. Like I still
A lot went
really don't
over.
understand the appeal of horror movies. Like there's a few that I like. Um, I always liked, if it counts, Blair Witch Project. I like Alien.
Yeah,
Um, I like creepy stuff, like Mindbenders, more than just straight up gore fests and
yeah.
slasher fests.
So more kind of intense building. I mean, Alien's pretty
Yes,
intense.
anything that's
Blair Witch
like,
Project is intense.
yeah, like where the actually, do you know the difference between terror and horror?
No.
So like terror is where like the fear is implied, where you can't see it, like where you can't see the monster. And
Okay.
horror is like where you can, where it's like that's where like terrorism comes from. Is like that you're supposed to be terrified that something bad could happen to you. Like it's
Okay.
the you ever heard of like the Hitchcock effect of like the bomb on the bus?
Mhm. Yeah.
So in case the folks at home don't know, like this is going way way back. Alfred Hitchcock days is um, like when the audience knows so like there's like that movie Speed like was Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. Like Hitchcock did a kind of version of that, I don't know, 100 years ago or whatever, where it's like the audience knows that there's a bomb on the bus, but the characters in the movie don't. So it's like they think everything's fine, but you, the audience, know something bad's gonna happen.
Mhm.
So like that's like the difference between terror and like horror is like when you just see like the monster in front of you.
Yeah. So I guess that would be kind of Jaws because Jaws doesn't really they didn't show Jaws in previews when the movie came out. You don't see
Yeah,
him until like the
yeah.
last third of the
Jaws has like maybe
movie.
5 minutes of screen time in the whole movie.
Yeah, other than that, he's just an idea. Like he's
Yeah,
killing people, he's there, but yeah, you don't really see him.
I know. Do you consider Jaws a horror movie?
I don't I don't know. Is it? I don't
I
think
think, yeah,
so.
I would. It's a monster movie.
It
Just like,
is. I mean, it's not a normal shark. Sharks don't do that. So I
yeah.
guess it is something supernatural in a way.
But yeah, like and like, it's funny because Jaws is also a PG movie. And like, between Jaws and this, I would say Jaws is the better horror movie. I mean, it's definitely held up for 50 years. Like, this is the 50-year anniversary of it.
I love all the Jaws. I watch them every summer.
I've only ever seen the first one. I think I've seen like bits and pieces of the others,
We should watch the third one. It's the worst.
I don't know.
It's
I
the
heard the
absolute
fourth
worst.
one.
Oh, the fourth one's bad, but in a bad way. It's just boring. The third one's good or bad in a good way. The skeletons in the swimming pool, you were talking about them.
Yeah.
They were real.
Real.
They were real skeletons. And Jo Beth Williams was in the pool with them, which apparently the pool stunk and it was really gross and nobody wanted to get in it.
Yeah, it looks like it. Because
Yeah,
it's dirt. It's not like a
it's a
finished pool.
pit.
Yeah.
And she didn't know they were real until after she was swimming with the skeletons. And like I couldn't find anything that really contradicted that. And that's everybody says it. It's on the Wikipedia.
Hmm.
So
I was kind of like when I was watching that at the end, like all just like skeletons and coffins are popping up, and like the music is getting like super intense, and like they're all freaking out.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, there's no monster though. It's just skeletons popping out, and like again, like they're not like zombies trying to attack them. They're all just, you know,
Yeah.
skeletons popping up. I'm just like, what are they? I mean, obviously, that would be pretty scary if it was happening in real life, but there's
Yeah.
no monster trying to attack them.
No, I mean, me as an adult watching it now, it's like it's kind of just a barrier. Her kids are upstairs about to get sucked into the vortex
Yeah,
again. She can't get to them. There's a monster guarding the door. She's getting sucked into a swimming pool because it's like muddy, and it's
yeah.
just like preventing her from getting up there. So there's kind of an intensity of she just can't help her own kids.
And again, like what we said in Ghostbusters, there's a lot of unusual, unnecessary sexual innuendo in this movie. Like the whole third act, the mom is just in her underwear and a t-shirt. I'm just going like, what was the point of that? You know, like
That's what
is that another thing for the men in the audience?
I told you. There's a whole scene where she's getting like dragged up the wall and on the ceiling, and she's only in her panties.
Yeah,
and they're just sticking out. You don't see boobs.
that's like I think that's kind of like a standard horror trope of just like when a woman's in distress and it's just like the less clothes she has on, like the more vulnerable she is. You know?
Yeah, it's got kind of
It's
a like unconsensual vibe to it, I
yeah.
guess.
There's like a little I won't say rapey, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I would say that.
it's
But they don't. But I don't know. She's vulnerable.
yeah.
She's like naked, and then she's outside running around, and the worthless neighbors come over, and they're just staring at her like, "What's going on? Your kids are
Oh,
screaming."
yeah, like the worthless neighbors, the their standard trope.
Yeah, it was like Ned Flanders and Homer screaming at
Yeah.
each other about the remote control.
I think
Have you ever heard about the Poltergeist curse?
no.
Okay. So the Poltergeist curse, and 2/3 of the children were dead within 6 years of making the movie. I think the oldest daughter was murdered within a few months of it getting released. And then the youngest daughter, she died at the age of 12.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then like in the second one, two actors from that movie died within, well, one was really sick, but and then the little, she died not long after the third one. So there was a lot of deaths. Probably just, but they think because they use real skeletons, if they use real skeletons, it caused a curse for the poltergeist.
That's bizarre. Where did they get the skeletons from?
I don't know.
Well, they couldn't.
They dug them up from the set. I don't know.
That's
I don't
weird.
know. Maybe it was like an archaeological thing. It seems unnecessary.
Yeah, it's like how can you even legally do that? I would fact check that
I did.
because it seems like
I did.
that seems like a crime would be like misuse of a corpse or something. Or
No,
who signed the waiver to like yeah you can use my deceased grandpa's skeleton in your movie?
I mean, things were different back in those days. That's why so many animals in movies were died, because you could kill a turtle on screen and put it in a movie and nobody said anything. It was just like,
I
okay.
guess. Although you know one thing I did like about I wrote this down is like the ghost hunters. They're kind of like the Ghostbusters, but they don't have any weapons. But one thing I did like is that it kind of has this modern vibe to it, and that they all have like cameras all the time.
Yeah.
And even though it's the huge, VHS camcorder like on the shoulder, like a news channel.
Yeah.
And like they have monitors like all over the house, like they're trying to record everything. It's funny because like there's like 100% proof positive that ghosts or poltergeists or whatever you want to call them
exist.
Absolutely exist. And I didn't see the second one, so maybe they should have played up on that, where they actually try to like sell that to news, be like, look, we have proof that ghosts exist. And
I feel like we need to watch it because I need to catch up on it, but I feel like that did not happen. I thought the scene where it was like this lady it was kind of like, I thought it was like a lady apparition that came down the stairs, and it was really beautiful, and she was white, but it looked like one apparition. And then they watched on the screen, and it was a bunch of apparitions, like World War I looking.
Oh yeah, like all the soldiers marched out or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a cool effect that they captured more on film than
it was cool, but I feel like they could have came back to that. Like it didn't pay off. It
didn't. No, but it was cool for the time. It was already a 2-hour movie. I guess they couldn't go too much into it.
So would you say do you still like this movie?
Or? I do. I appreciate it in a different way because now it's just more about a family in turmoil, and I kind of get it. But, like a maternal perspective.
I thought it was okay.
What? okay.
Yeah, like it's hard for me to like really say, in 2025, this is my first time seeing it, like whether I would give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Like it's not a bad movie at all,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not, to me it's not like a particularly great one. I appreciate it like more like as a time capsule movie.
The nostalgia is
Yeah.
huge for me on that one.
Yeah, and also like it was kind of groundbreaking for the time because it has been referenced in pop culture so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like it definitely laid a lot of groundwork, and that a lot of other horror movies and even TV shows and things like that picked up on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate it for what it is. It didn't, to me, it wasn't especially scary. It was, yeah, it was interesting.
It's good. And I think it was one of the first groundbreaking movies where they probably used those effects because it came before Ghostbusters, so the effects
Yeah.
of actual ghosts without, having a sheet hanging off a rope or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it from the nostalgia. It's family friendly. Like you could have your kids watch it.
Well, I wouldn't show this to kids.
I would.
I think like maybe
Gotta get to the.
I think they have to be like 10 or like again, they should be a PG-13. I think that's probably about the age. Like they should be post-pubescent. I think any pre-pubescent kid would be scared to death, or just maybe not scared, but just like confused and creeped out. It's like that's what I would have been. I would have just been like, why would anybody want to watch this? I don't get it.
Why don't they regrade movies? Because they didn't have PG-13 back then, but could they not slap a PG-13 rating on it now?
They could, but like that costs money, and it's just kind of like, what's the point?
It costs money to grade. Oh yeah, I guess it does because you have to screen it before certain people, right? Before they can determine if
Yeah.
it's. But yeah, Poltergeist, thumbs
Yeah.
up.
I'm like,
You're kind of like
I would say it's better than not.
the non-existing at all.
Like on a 1 to 10 scale, it's like a 6, I guess.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah. Comment below if it
trying
scares
to,
you.
for my next pick, I'm trying to decide if I should do another, PG classic 80s movie or a hard R mind bender. We haven't done any R-rated movies yet. Maybe we should.
Yeah, comment below.
Because
Like
all my picks so far have been kind of basic bitch, Hollywood, big deal movies, and yours have been kind of underground.
might have all been kids movies because it's
Yeah.
what I remember from being a small child.
Mhm.
So we should kind of maybe venture into something a little bit more heavy
Yeah.
duty, I think.
Yeah.
And we just came up with some ideas tonight, so yeah,
We'll see.
possible.
All right. Well, I guess that about wraps it up.
Yes.
Anything you forgot, or?
As far as trivia is concerned, I think that was it.
But was this a successful movie?
It
Did it
was
make money?
made for 10.7 million and it grossed 121 million.
Oh,
It was
that's
a
good.
huge success. It was a big year for
Did the critics like it?
critics loved it.
Okay.
They
Yeah, I could
did.
see that for the time.
Roger Ebert loved it, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see you next week. I still we're trying to decide if I'm going another basic PG movie or a hard R mindbender. We'll see.
I don't know what I'm doing either, so. All
right.
right. See you on the
Let's-
flip
Yeah.
side.
Smell you later.
Bye.
Bye.